Beis, and we're picking up Rabbi 7 lines up from the bottom. Yosef Rav Nachman. The shir this morning is dedicated by the Shapiro family in memory of our Rav Ephraim ben David Gershon. We hope that in the merit of our Talmud Torah, the Neshama will have an aliyah. So we'll say the shir is also dedicated this month by Paul and Kathy Pollack in memory of Sol and Floret Pollack, Zara Bas Avram, and Shmuel ben Zachariah. May their neshamas have an aliyah and the family a nechama. All right, so we'll say let's begin. A lot to do today. Baruch Hashem. So the Gemara picks up Yosef Rav Nachman v'Ula v'Avimi bar Papi. So let's begin. Yosef Rav Nachman v'Ula v'Avimi bar Papi. Yosef Rabbi Chia bar Ami Gabayo. Yosef becoming Barlo. So we'll say these Rabbanim are sitting together and they are asking the following question. A very interesting shayla. Sachru lishbar b'yayin nesach ma'u. We'll say, what happens if an akum goes ahead and hires a Jew to smash barrels of yayin nesach? Literally, again, smash. This is the job, right? The akum has maybe whatever the mitzias is. So can the akum hire the Jew to smash bottles of yayin nesach? Look at Rashi. Lishbar b'yayin nesach, lishbar chavis v'lishbar chasayin. To smash the barrels and to pour out the wine. The why is irrelevant right now. This is the nature, this is the tzura of the malacha. So we'll say the shaila is, so remember, what's the issue over here? The issue over here is the Jew is earning a wage by working with yayin nesach. Now, again, we established already in the Mishnah that any wages earned by working with yayin nesach ultimately are asr. The difference in this case is what? Is he's destroying the yayin nesach. So it says the Gemara, now, on one hand, the Jew wants the existence of the yayin nesach. Why does the Jew want the existence of the yayin nesach? Because it's a salary. Remember, again, if for some reason there's an act of nature, there's a hurricane that destroys the barrels of wine, he loses his money, doesn't get his wage. See, he wants the yayin nesach to exist. Ultimately, again, until he shows up at the house of the nachri. So on one hand, he wants the yayin nesach to exist, and maybe it's usher. On the other hand, Dilma, tifla shaper dami. We'll say any time that you have the opportunity, lemeute tifla means literally to go ahead and diminish, or to detract, or to destroy. Tifla. We'll say tifla means usher things, inappropriate things. In this case, reference to Avoda Zara, wine, yayin nesach. So ultimately, again, shaper dami. Then that is a commendable practice, and one is permitted to get a wage for this. So we'll say, so this is the fundamental tension. On one hand, the Jew wants the yayin nesach because the yayin nesach is his parnasa. So again, maybe that's why the wage should be usher. On the flip side, he's actively destroying yayin nesach, in which case, again, maybe it should be mutter. So what's the halacha? Amar Rav Nachman Yishbar v'taval of bracha. So let's listen to this. Rav Nachman says it's mutter v'taval of bracha shkoyach. Not only is it okay, but you get an incredible shkoyach for doing it. So the Gemara says as follows. So we'll say, let's analyze this. Lema Mesayele. So we'll say, let's bring us apart to Rav Nachman. Ein odrin ima obeg chavim b'kilayim. Let's listen to this. So kilayim, remember, again, are forbidden mixtures. Whether it's kilaya kerem, so simple, right? You have grape, you have vines and wheat growing together. So the halacha Rabbi say is now, remember, an akum has absolutely no prohibition of kilaya kerem. That's only a prohibition by Jews. But even if an akum has kilaya kerem, a Jew is not permitted to help him farm them. Odrin literally means like hoeing or shoveling around the roots. So a Jew is not permitted to participate with the akum in the upkeep of his kilayim. Top of Samech Dalid. Aval okrin imo. They will say, what can you do? If the Ovei Kocham is uprooting his kilayim, then ultimately, again, the Jew is permitted to help him uproot. Look at Rashi about okrin. Rashi says, Lashlichon li'ibud. Va'afagav derotzibikiyum shlo ya'akrum elein ad shiakim. We're supposed to listen to this. But the Jew is permitted to go ahead and uproot the kilayim with the akum. Why? Ultimately, again, in order to go ahead and what? In order to go ahead and diminish that which is asr. So we'll say, here is a case where, again, the Jew now desires the existence of the klaya kerem. Now, he desires the existence of the klaya kerem until when? Until he shows up for work. But the idea is he wants the asr item to remain in existence because that is going to be the source of his wages. Yet we see that he is permitted to go ahead and work with the akum to remove the klaya kerem. Why? because apparently even working with something that is asr is okay if the scope of your employment is the destruction of the prohibited item. So Savrua, so we'll say, so the Gemara discussed, Savrua, Hamani, whose opinion does this place reflect? Rabbi Akiva, he, the Amar, Hamakayim Bikilayim Loker. Rabbi Akiva is an interesting shita. Rabbi Akiva says, not only does the one who plants kilayim, not only is that asr, but anyone who participates somehow in the upkeep of kilayim is also violating a prohibition. Rashi says, over here, Rabbi Akiva Damar Hamakayim Bikilayim Loker, third line down. From the top of Rashi, Dimzar and Acher, if somebody plants the kilayim, Ubazev aslan siag v'geder kedei lekaimon loke alma savar asr lios rots b'kiyum. So Rabbi Akiva is an interesting shita. Let's say Ruvain plants the kilaya kerem, and then what? Shimon puts up a fence around the kilayim. Rabbi Akiva holds that Shimon is violated the isser of kilaya kerem. Rabbi Akiva says a very dramatic shita that anyone who participates not only in the planting of kilaya kerem, but in the upkeep or sustaining of kilaya kerem, both say that is also asr. That's also asr. Incredible. So the Gemara says this sanya, because we learned the both say if somebody literally goes ahead and digs, right? Digs or hoes around the kilaya kerem. So ultimately, again, they're loke. They get malchus. Rabbi Kiva Omer both say now that's someone who actively participates in the act of planting or the actual something to do with the actual plant itself. Rabbi Akiva Omer Afamakayim. Rabbi Akiva says even the person who participates just in the upkeep. Now, I want to point out something. When we think about upkeep of Kilai Karen, what do you think about? Maintaining the actual plant, watering it, whatever a person does for upkeep of Kilayim. In Rabbi Akiva's model, some Makayim upkeep is much broader. Remember again, according to Rabbi Akiva, if you put the fence up around the Kilaya Karen so that animals shouldn't come to eat it, that's usher. That's usher. So we'll say, so that's a pretty dramatic shita. So the Gemara says, my time to Rabbi Akiva. All right, pretty dramatic. Yeah. This is good. So we'll say, says the Gemara, my time to Rabbi Akiva. We'll say, what's Rabbi Akiva's logic? Meaning, where does he get this from? We'll say, because obviously, this is, all kidding aside, this is exceptionally dramatic because that's not the Pashup Shah in the Pasuk. The Pashup Shah in the Pasuk is that the Isra of Kilai HaKerem is planting of Kilai HaKerem. That's the Pashup Pshat in the Pasuk. Where do you get this idea that if I put up a fence around the field or some other what we'll call secondary upkeep of Kilai HaKerem, that somehow that's going to be Aser? But say this is an amazing drasha. Amakra, Rabbi Akiva says, Sodcha lo tizra kilayim. Remember, the pasuk says quite explicitly, you shall not go ahead and plant kilayim in your field. Ainli elazoreya, I only know that you can't plant them. Mikayim minayin. Well, say, how do I know that even secondary forms of kilayim support are also going to be aser? Talmud lomar, lo kilayim. No kilayim. So Rabbi Akiva dashes, no kilayim means no kilayim. Now we'll say, now where does it say lo kilayim? We'll say, now watch this. Watch this. If you happen to have the psukim on the margin of your Gemara, you'll appreciate this a little bit more. Listen to how the pasuk reads. Es chukosai tishmeru. Okay, fine. Behem techa lo sabia kilayim, sadcha lo tizra kilayim, ubeged kilayim, ubeged kilayim. Ubeged kilayim shatnez lo yalecha. So we'll say the Torah says three things. Number one, you can't go ahead and have kilayim by your animals. You can't mate different species. You can't plant kilayim in your field, and you shouldn't have kilayim in your clothing shatnez. Rabbi Akiva makes Rosh Rabbos say the juxtaposition between the behema and the sada. Behemtecha lo sabia kilayim, sadcha lo sizra. So most of the kilayim. So let's listen to this. He juxtaposes the lo of behema to the kilayim, ultimately of the sada. The juxtaposition of those words gives you an additional prohibition, lo kilayim, which teaches you what Rabbi is saying. And even though there's a word in between that lo and kilayim, that's Rabbi Akiva's answer for the drasha. Ultimately, again, that teaches you may not participate in kilayim in any form whatsoever, even being mekayim, even ultimately, again, upholding the kilayim in any form. So the Gemara says as follows. Yet, so we'll say, see, even Rabbi Akiva, who has such an expansive understanding of the prohibition of kilayim, to even go ahead and even include being mekayim kilayim, nevertheless, v'ilu limi'ute tifla shari. Ultimately, even Rabbi Akiva Rabbosai, who has perhaps the most expansive understanding of the prohibition of kilayim, even he says that a Jew is permitted to work with the Ovid Kochavim in order to what? In order to uproot the Kilayim, because any act of diminishing that which is prohibited is going to be permitted. So the Gemara says, well, maybe not. Hamani Rabbanani. The Gemara says, I'm sorry, lo. Maybe the Brisa doesn't reflect the view of Rabbi Akiva. Maybe it reflects the view of the Rabbanon. Rabbi said the Rabbanon obviously have a much more limited scope of the prohibition. According to the Rabbanon, the prohibition of Kilaya Kerem is dafka only for planting. It doesn't apply to secondary types of activities. Hamani Rabbanani, I Rabbanon. Both say if it's the Rabbanon, my irya okrin, afilu kiyume nami shapir dami. They both say if it's according to the Rabbanon, then obviously you're permitted to uproot kilayim, because according to the Rabbanon, you're even allowed to do secondary forms of kilayim support, like putting up the fence. I mean, according to the Rabbanon, I'll say the only issue is planting kilayim. Anything other than planting is going to be permitted. To which the Gemara says, no. Both say this is amazing. Hachamaraskinon kigon da'avid bechinam. Ooh. Both say, watch this. What is the Jew doing? The Jew is volunteering to work for free for the akum to uproot his kilayim. Rabbi Hudi. So we'll say, so what's wrong with working for free? How can you even ask such a shayla like that? Everything's wrong with working for free. So it's Rabbi Hudi, the Amar, Litein lahem matnas chinam aser. We'll say, all kidding aside, so remember again, this is the sheet of Rabbi Huda. Remember also we had this in the beginning of the Masechta. We had three different interpretations of the prohibition of lo sichanim. Right? Either lo sitem lechania bekarka, can't give an akum a foothold in Eretz Yisrael. You can't go ahead and praise the akum, or ultimately, again, you can't give the akum a matnas chinam. You can't give the akum, ultimately, again, a gift for free. So Yehuda is of the position that Rabbi say a Jew is not permitted to give a service to an akum for free. Rabbi, remember again, this goes back to the beginning of the Masechta out of a concern that the akum will then go ahead and praise his deity as a result, and as such, the Jew is enabling or facilitating or encouraging Avoda Zara. So as I said, who's of the opinion that again you're not allowed to give a matnas chinam. So listen to this. Mid Rabbi Yehuda nishma. Rabbi Yehuda. So say from Rabbi Yehuda nishma l'Rabbi Akiva lav. Am Rabbi Yehuda asur litena matnas chinam. Aval lemeute tifla shapir tabi. So we'll say, see, even Rabbi Yehuda, who would normally say that what you cannot give a matnas chinam. You can't do something for free for the akum. We'll say even Rabbi Akiva who says that, even Rabbi Yehuda who says that would agree that what? Lemeute tifla, to go ahead and remove something which is prohibited, you could even work for the akum for free. So what the Gemara is suggesting now is as follows. The chiddush in this case of the Jew working for the akum to remove the klaya kerabo, saying the chiddush over here is not really rooted in the machlokes in Rabbi Akiva and the Rabbanon. We'll come back to Rabbi Akiva in just a moment. The chiddush over here is, I, the Jew, am coming over to the akum, offering my services as a klai hakerem remover, and I am offering those services for free. Under normal circumstances, Rabbi Huda says you can't offer anything for free to an akum because it's a violation of lo sichanim. But over here, lemeute tifla, because ultimately I'm trying to remove that which is prohibited, that which is asr. Even Rabbi Huda will agree that I'm permitted to work for free. And if Rabbi Huda says that I'm able to work for free, then again the Gemara says Rabbi Akiva nami afa gabdam Rabbi Akiva mekayim bekalai loke. So I'll say therefore again from that I can learn even according to Rabbi Akiva. And remember, Rabbi Akiva is the strictest opinion when it comes to klai yakerem. Since Rabbi Akiva says you can't do anything related to klai yakerem, and even if you just do secondary forms of support with klai yakerem, you will be chayiv. Even Rabbi Akiva will agree that what? Lemeute tifla shapir dami. To go ahead and what? To go ahead and diminish that which is asr, to remove that which is asr, i.e. to diminish klai yakerem, is permitted. Is permitted. I will say, look how the Gemara ends. V'su lo midi. And there is no longer any need to talk anymore about this. It's like a mic drop. It's like a Talmudic mic drop, right? So, that's it. We're done, right? We're done. There's nothing more to discuss. The conversation is closed, which Rabosai means that at the end of the day, again, the Gemara has an incredible resolution and feels that it has successfully proven the case that indeed a Jew is permitted to involve himself in working with prohibited items in the scope of destroying those items. Even items which a Jew normally must actively disassociate from, he is permitted to go ahead and work to destroy them. Again, whether he's doing it for free, whether he's getting a wage. So we'll say, so the Gemara, so just so you should know, how does the Shulchan Aruch paskin on this? Even though, again, this is an interesting case of the ox. Remember, again, how does this all get started? This gets started with the Akum hiring the Jew in order to go ahead and destroy Yayin Nesech. Right? Akum has barrels of Yayin Nesech that for some reason he wants destroyed. Can the Jew get a wage for destroying the Yayin Nesech or not? So Shulchan Aruch Paskins, this is in Seven Kuf Lamed Gimel, Sif Zayin in Yeridea. Shulchan Aruch writes, Yisrael shesachru ovid kochavim, lishbar lo chavis shel Yayin Nesech, if a Jew is hired by an Akum to go ahead and destroy the Akum's barrels of Yayin Nesech, Afapi sherotze bikiyumam, shel yishtabru me'eleim, ad sheyishbru muvi yitos chanavosai. Now remember again, in this case, the Jew now desires the existence of the Yayin Nesech. Why does he desire the existence of the Yayin Nesech? Because Lamaisa, again, if the Yayin Nesech would break or would spill as a result of some other occult act of God, the Jew does not get his wage. So he desires the existence of the Yayin Nesech. Nevertheless, scharo mutter, we'll say he is permitted to get paid for destroying the Yayin Nesech, and the tavo alav bracha. We'll say mamish like the lashon of Rav Nachman. And he gets a shkoyach. He gets a shkoyach ultimately. Again, why? Because he is actively destroying those things which are prohibited. Good of us, I say that is the halacha lemaisa. So the Gemara goes weiter. Hadur yasi v'kai b'ayavos. The Gemara asks another fascinating shayla. Hadur yasi v'kai b'ayavos. Demei avodas kochavim biyad ovid kochavim mahu. So listen to this case. Money, now look at Rashi just a moment. Demei avodas kochavim, it's right across from Tosfos Mistabra. Literally right across. So Demei avodas kochavim. Ovid kochavim shemochra avodas kochavim demei mahin bana. Listen to this. What happens if a Gentile, Rashi saying Akum, sells his idol? He sells his idols. So the Shayla Rabbi say is, what is the status of that money? Now we know when it comes to Avoda Zara owned by a Jew, so that status, that Avoda Zara status transfers to everything. So if a Jew takes his Avoda Zara and sells it, that money is still usher. The Shaila is over here by an Akum. If the Akum goes ahead and sells his idol, what is the status of that money? Is the money usher like Avoda Zara itself, or once the Akum transforms his idols into cash, then the Maisa, again, the cash is going to be permitted. So the Gemara says as follows: How do you ask the Mitofes says Dameha Biat Ovid Kochavim Olo. Also, does the money retain the idolatrous identity while still in the hands of the Akum or not? Supposed to listen to this. Amulu Rav Nachman. So Rav Nachman said, Mistabra Demei Avodas Kochavim Biat Ovid Kochavim Mutarim. So Rav Nachman seems to say, it appears to me, it's Mistaber, that if the Akum sells his idol and transforms the idol into cash, that ultimately, again, that money is mutter bano. Money is mutter bano. So where do we get this from? Listen to this from Nachman. So I'm going to tell you an episode. So listen to this. There were these people, whether it's individual or group, sounds like it's a group, of Akum who wanted to convert. They wanted to convert. So Rabbi Baravua said to them, listen, before you convert, let me give you some advice. Zil, zebinu koma de isluchu. You should go ahead and sell off everything you have. Now, I will say everything over here doesn't mean everything. What does everything mean? Everything means you have Avoda Zara. If you have any idolatrous stuff with you, you should sell it off before you convert. And then what? Visu is gairu. Then you should be megayer afterwards. So the Gemara says, my time, but what's the reason for this? So it says, Mishum de kasavar, de me avodos kochava biyad ovid kochava mutarim. So we'll say Rabbi Baravua was telling us something very interesting. He's like, listen, if you guys convert and you're still holding on to this Avoda Zara, then what? You're going to be Jews who own Avoda Zara. Also, Salacha with Jews who own Avoda Zara, they can never be batal. Can never be batal. Also, the only thing you can do with it is actively destroy it. You can't sell it. You can't be nana from it. It has to be actively destroyed. On the other hand, what we have learned is what? Is an Akum does have the ability to be mevatel his Avoda Zara. He could negate his idolatry. Rabbi says, so what Rabbi Baravua seems to be saying is, selling your Avoda Zara, ein bittul gidola mizu. Right? When you sell your God, subapashas, that's a pretty clear statement. Either that you're strapped for cash or that you don't believe in this anymore. Right? They will say, but pashas, either way, when you're selling off your theology, or I should say your idols, so Lamais, again, that's a bittul. So therefore, Rabbi Avoda says, sell it off while you're in Akum, and then you have the cash, and the cash is what Avoda said. Now, obviously, if you sign to sell it off, that means that the cash is mutter, which tells us what? That when an akum sells his idols, the cash will be mutter. Look at Rashi. V'su es gairu, po'uv gairu dila achar, shen es gairu asr lim kol havol es chavim shavyetchem. Alma, ki maz ben lo biyosav ikcham shari, l'sanuye ba kishuger. So we'll say, so Rav Nachman says, you see from this statement of Rabbi Baravua, that when an akum sells his idol, the money is permitted. So the Gemara says, 1 second. V'dilma, shiny hasa, maybe that case is different. Techevan de daite le'igiyurei, vadai batla. This is very interesting. Maybe this is different. Because this is talking about people who are about to convert, then I will say, see, conversion by definition requires what? Negation of idolatry. I will say it's one of the things we do multiple times through the step of gerus. Again, the different halachas. Whether a person, whether it's a big machlokas aposkim, is it enough to actively accept HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Is that just enough? Or must a person actively deny the validity of their former religion? So machlokas aposkim, what a ger needs to do. So the Gemara says over here that look, this group that's coming before Rabbi Baravua, they want to convert. If they want to convert, then what? Vadai batla. Then Rabbi say that's different. They've been mevatel that Avoda Zara. If they've been mevatel that Avoda Zara, everyone will agree that's what? Right? Then ultimately the money is permitted. So I'll say our shaila is, what about in the case where Lamaisa, again, the akum he wasn't actively mevatel. So again, you could say that the act of selling your idol, again, as we said before, ain't bittul gedol mizu. Maybe that is bittul, but at the same time, he's not saying anything. He's not doing anything. So in any case where they come here to convert, it's clear that he's repudiating his former ideology or his former theology. So of course the money is going to be permitted. So this is not a good raya. Elamihacha. But rather, again, Rav Nachman, I'll give you another proof. You saw Shayno Sheva Avikuchavim Mana. Well, so listen to this. If Yisrael lent an Oved Kochavim $100, and what happened? Umachra avodas kochavim vehevilo yayin esech vehevilo mutter. Well, so listen to this. Jew lends akum $100. What does the akum do? He doesn't have any cash, so he sells off his idol. Sells off his idol, brings the Jew $100. Sells off his yayin esech, brings the Jew $100. We'll say, so what's the status of those proceeds? Gemara says mutter. Mutter. Watch this. Avalim amerlo hamtein li ad she'emkar avodas kochavim va'avilacha. Rabbi say, if the akum says to the Jew, listen, Jew, I know that I owe you $100. Listen, I need to go ahead and sell off my idol, or I need to sell off my yayin esech. You know, it's a good market now for idols in yayin esech. So I just need to sell off some of my stuff, and I'll bring you the money. So we'll say, in that case, the proceeds of that sale are usher to the Jew. So the Gemara says, Maishna Reishna, Maishna Seifa. So we'll say, so what's the distinction in the case? Remember, case number one is seemingly, again, where the akum doesn't say anything to the Jew. Right? He owes the Jew $100, and of his own volition, he just goes and he sells off the idol, sells off the INS, says, here's the money. Second case is where he tells the Jew, I need to sell off my idol, or I need to sell off my INS in order to pay you. So we'll say, yeah, in this first case, it's mutter. Second case, it's usher. What's the difference in the two cases? Amar Rav Sheshes Seifa Mishum Dahavile Kirotze Bikiyumo. We'll say because Rav Sheshes says the second case is where the Jew wants the continued existence of the idol or the yayin esech. We'll say, why does the Jew want the continued existence of the idol or the yayin esech? Because remember again, the akum has made it explicitly clear that he doesn't have cash. So any cash for repayment is going to come from the sale of the idol or from the sale of the yayin esech. As such, the Jew wants the continued existence of these items. Look at Rashi. So apparently, because the Jew wants the continued existence of this idolatrous item, therefore it makes the proceeds aser. So the Gemara says, I don't understand. But just because the Jew wants the continued existence of this item, so the proceeds of the sale become aser. But we learned, Vatanan, Gerva Ovid Kochavim Sheyar Shuavian Ovid Charbos. This is an amazing case. Let's say you have two brothers. Both born Ovdei Kochavim. One brother converts. So we'll say the father who's in Ovdei Kochavim dies, and now obviously there are two sons who are going to be Yoresh Yisei. Let's assume for a moment, for our purposes, that neither of them is a Bechar, right? They have an Obis. Actually, that doesn't make a difference. There's no Bechor by an Akum, right? So we'll say, so ultimately, again, Father Akum dies. Now we'll say, now what happens? Now in the estate, there's a whole bunch of stuff, including Avoda Zara. So we'll say, so now what happens? Watch this. So ger of Avichavim, Shiar Shavin of Avichavim. So the father of Avichavim dies. His two sons, one who's a ger, one who's an akum, inherit him. So the Gemara says, ger yachol lomer lo. So the ger could tell his akum brother, tol ata avodas kochavim va'animos. Listen, you take the idolatry, I'll take the money. You take the idolatry. Now, obviously, there's some kind of situation where, again, the idolatry itself has a value as well. So the splitting the value of the estate is just the ger brother is saying, listen, the idolatry is of no use to me, obviously. You take the idolatry, I'll take the money. Talat yayin esech vani peros. You take the yayin esech, I'll take the produce. So we'll say, so what's the halacha? So we'll say, if the problem is, if these items already came to the rishus of the ger, then what? Then it's going to be asr. Because we'll say at that point in time, it's Avoda Zara owned by a Jew. Once the Avoda Zara is owned by a Jew, there's nothing really he could do with it except destroy it. So we'll say, so what do you see from here? This is a case of also where the ger wants the continued existence ultimately of the item. Why does he want the continued existence of the item? I will say, because halacha l'maisa, again, this ensures that he'll be able to get his Yerusha. So the Gemara says, yet we see that it's mutter. So Amar Rava bar Ula, masnisin ba'avodas kochavim hamischalekes lefi shevarah. We'll say it's different. Truth is, this is a case of idolatry of idols. The Avodah Zarah in this case, we'll say, is an idol that has inherent value. For example, it's made of gold, so that even if it breaks, it's still going to be valuable. In that case, again, the ger does not care if the item is going to remain intact or not. Teinach avodas kochavim. That's a fine answer by idolatry. Yayin esech ma'ikal emem. But we'll say, remember again, the Bryce also deals with the yayin esech. So what's the case of where he doesn't want to, even if the barrel breaks, so the wine is gone? To which the Gemara says, becheres hadraini. We'll remember again, Hadrianic jugs. Remember again, so what's the case of cheres hadriani? So that was the jugs where they would go ahead and they would, the earthenware would absorb strong wine. To the point that what you could do is you could make wine even with just the shard of that earthenware. If you put a shard of that earthenware in wine, so the absorptions are so strong that they can make wine again. So in that case, again, even if the barrel breaks, the shards are meaningful. So in that case, the ger brother does not really care whether or not the yayin nesech remains intact or the avodah zara remains intact. Lemaisa, again, he's just looking to swap property with his akum brother. So the Gemara says, "V'halo rotz b'kiyumo shelo yignevu v'shelo yavdu." But he still does want the avodah zara and the yayin nesech to remain in existence. It might not have to remain whole, but he doesn't want it to get stolen or he doesn't want it to be lost. Ela amar papa Yerushas Hager Kanabos. This is amazing. Don't bring a rye from Yerushas Hager. Why not? Because shiny Yerushas Hager da'akilu barabonon. We'll say when it comes to Yerushas Hager, right? The rabbis were makel. We'll say, so what's another way of saying, when it comes to Yerushas Hager, the rabbis were makel in that what? They actively allowed the ger to swap with his akum brother, that the akum brother should take avodah zara, and the ger brother should take other things. We'll say, see, even though under normal circumstances, it sounds like if a Jew wants the continued existence of the avodah zara, so then the proceeds of that avodah zara are going to be asr. When it comes to Yerushas Hager, ultimately we're makel. Why are we saying? Gzeira shemiyachzir lekilkulo. We'll say, what are we concerned about? We're concerned that if we're not makel, the ger is going to go back to being an akum. We'll say, what does that mean? So if you could have a situation of somebody who converted, and then Lamais again, his father dies, so he's still going to inherit his father. Let's say his father was fabulously wealthy. For most people, if you're going to make them make a choice between their money and their religion, so also I should say that for that matter, money and their morality. So unfortunately, again, or money and their theology, many people will choose money. Chazal understand that. That's just the nature of human nature. So we'll say that because that's the case, the Rabbanan were makel in certain circumstances where we're dealing with rabbinic law. So in this case over here, where again, under normal circumstances, if the Jew wants to continue the existence of the avodah zara, so the proceeds of that avodah zara are going to be usher. In this case, the Rabbanan were makel, lest the ger be tempted to return back to his negative behaviors in order to go ahead and have a portion as Yerusha. So essentially, we allow him to actively divide his deceased akum father's estate with his akum brother, actively bartering avodah zara for other items in order to safeguard the newfound spirituality of the ger. We'll say Amud Beis. Tiny Nami Achar, right? Let's support this. The Medra, when is this true that they could actively barter Avodah Zara for other items? Shiyarshu. We'll say that's only in the case, ultimately, again, of inheritance. Aval Nishtatfu Aser. But we'll say if they're partners in it, then Lemais, again, they can't actively barter in Avodah Zara. Fine, so we'll say, so that ends the sugya of the proceeds. So we'll say, so what's the answer? Remember, how did we start this sugya? This sugya was, an akum goes ahead and sells his Avodah Zara. And we'll say, what is the status of the proceeds? So remember again, the Gemara kind of went a little bit on a tangent. In other words, bottom line, what is that law? Supposed to the Rambam paskins that when an akum sells his idol, those monies are mutter ba'ano. So again, if he sells his idolatry, even without active repudiation of the idolatry, ultimately again the status of the Avodah Zara does not carry over to the monies, and the monies will be actively permitted. That is how we pass in halacha l'maisa. Next case, Rabbi Say. This is another fascinating case. Hadir Yasir coming by there. They asked another shayla. Next case. Hadir Yasim coming by there. Both say they were still sitting and talking. And what were they talking about? Ger Toshav, Ma'u Sheyivatla Avodas Go Chavim. Supposed to listen to this. Can a Ger Toshav actively go ahead and negate idolatry? Now, who is a Ger Toshav? Look at Rashi. Tap Rashi. Samach Talal Amud Beis. Ger Toshav is Eino Ovid Kochavim. Eino Ovid Avodas Kochavim. Ubar Minesha Ovid Kochavim. Ubechol Shar Avedas. So both say a Ger Toshav is a Gentile, not an Akum. He is a Gentile who does not worship idolatry, but in every single other way, he is like a Gentile. He's a guy. So he doesn't observe any mitzvahs, nothing, but he doesn't worship idolatry. So the shaila is, does such an individual have the koach, have the ability to negate, to be mevatel avodah zara or not? So the Gemara says as follows. So the Gemara says, "De palach mevatel, de lo palach lo mevatel." So do we say, you kind of like you got to be in it to win it? Do we say you have to worship it to negate it, but if you don't worship it, you can't negate it? In other words, that the idea of bitul abosai is that somebody who is actively steeped in avodah zara, if you worship it, then you have the ability to negate its quote unquote, in quotations with a lowercase d, divine identity. But if you don't worship it, right, if it's not Avodah Zara, then you don't have the ability to be mevatel it. O dilma, kol de bar minei mevatel. And I will say, anybody will say what we call bar minei. Bar minei means anyone who is in the same category as an akum has the ability to negate Avodah Zara. We'll say, so what does it mean to be in the same category as an akum? You're a Gentile. Person's a guy, right? Anyone who is a Gentile, by definition, has the ability to negate idolatry, even if you're not an active worshiper, even if you're not an idolater yourself. So that's the machlokes. Does bittul require you to be an oved avodah zara, or does bittul just require you to be a Gentile? The nafkamina, what's the nafkamina? Good, ger toshav. Right, ger toshav is the nafkamina. Ger toshav is a Gentile who does not worship idolatry. Does he have the ability to be mevatel idolatry or not? So Amar says, Amar Lu Rav Nachman. So we'll say Rav Nachman. Today's Rav Nachman's day. Amar Rav Nachman. Mistabra de palach mevatel de lo palach lo mevatel. Nachman says it's clear that again, in order to go ahead and negate idolatry, you have to worship it. If you don't worship it, you can't negate it. Meisvei. So it says, really, is that true? Meisvei Yisrael shemat avodas kochavim b'shuk. Let's listen to this. If a Yisrael finds a nice idol in the shuk, ad shelo basal yado. So we'll say, so now what's the issue? I find a gold idol in the shuk. Now I have no interest in it theologically, but I do have interest in it monetarily. So we'll say, so what's the problem? The problem is, l'mais again, if I pick it up and I acquire it as avodah zara, and it's still avodah zara, then I'm stuck. Meaning, then I have nothing to do but destroy it. So I have a good chap. What do? Omer la ovid kochav muvatla. I go ahead and I find an ovid kochav. I say, listen, do me a favor. You, ovid kochav, be mevatla that avodah zara. Once you're mevatla, it's no longer an idol. Once it's no longer an idol, then it's just a block of gold. I can take it. Mishabasal yodo eino omer la ovid kochav mevatla. So we'll say, but once, ultimately, again, I would take possession of it. Meaning, if I were to lift it up and take possession of it, before bittul, then what? Unfortunately, I'm stuck. Meaning, there's nothing I can do with that avodah zara. So the Gemara says, Mishabas liyado eno omer la'ovid kochavim umavatla. Shabbos say, but once I pick it up, once it comes to my hand, I no longer have the ability to ask the akum to be mevatl it. Mipnei sha'amru ovid kochavim mevatla avodas kochavim shalo v'shel chavero. Because both saying akum has the ability to be mevatl his avodah zara and his friend's avodah zara. Bein ovda, bein shalo ovda. Whether the akum worships this idol or doesn't worship this idol. Says the Gemara, 1 second. My ovda umay she'ena ovda. We'll say, what does it mean that an akum has the ability to be mevatl avodah zara, whether he worships it or not? So the Gemara says, Ilema. So what does this mean? So the Gemara says, Ilema idi oved kochavim hainu shalo v'shel chavero. So we'll say, so what are you going to say? So maybe what it's saying is like this: that an oved kochavim, Rabbosai, has the ability to negate his own idolatry or his friend's idolatry, even if he doesn't worship that same avodah zara. So the Gemara says, Elalav ovda oved kochavim umay she'ena ovda ger toshav. Or maybe what it means is as follows: maybe ovda means an oved kochavim, she'ena ovda means a ger toshav, and the Bryce is teaching me that what Rabbi say shmamina ger toshav nami mevatel. Maybe what the Bryce is teaching me, say, is that what? That a ger toshav in fact does have the ability to be mevatel and avodah zara. To which the Gemara says, lo li'olam ein malacha, Edi v'edi oved kochavim. We'll say no. The Brisa is talking about. So we'll say, remember again, there are two cases of the Brisa. The Brisa says oved kochavim mevatla avodas kochavim shalo v'shel chavero bein ovda ubein she'ein ovda. The Gemara wanted to suggest about say. So remember again, an akum could negate, could be mevatla his avodah zara, his friend's avodah zara, whether he worships it or he doesn't worship it. The halamin of the Gemara was worships it means what? He's an avodah avodah zara. Eina ovda doesn't worship it means what? He's a ger toshav. The Gemara now says no, that's not what it means. The only person of us who has the ability to work to be mevatel idolatry is someone who is an idolater, someone who worships avodah zara. So what's ein ovda? Udika amrit hainu shalo v'shachavei. Rabbi said, listen to this. What does it mean when it says he can be mevatel his avodah zara and his friends avodah zara? For example, reisha zev zela pa'ar zel zela markelis. So also what it means is the first case the Bible says when it says I can negate, an akum can negate his avodah zara and his friends avodah zara. We'll say that's when they both worship the same avodah zara. They both worship Baal Pa'ar. They both worship Markelis. So I'll say the Bryce is teaching me that one akum can not only be mevatel his own avodah zara, but he can be mevatel the avodah zara of his friends when they worship the same idolatry. Right? However, safer. I will say, yet the Bryce then goes on. What's Bryce say? The Bryce then says, "Bein ovda ubein she'ein ovda." What does that refer to? I will say, "Zela pa'ar v'zela markelis." I will say what that teaches me is that what an akum can be mevatel the avodah zara of his friends, even if what I will say they worship different idols. So even if one worships Pa'ar, one worships Markelis, the Pa'ar guy can be mevatel the Markelis guy can be mevatel the Pa'ar. But I will say, but what do you see? That in order to be mevatel avodah zara, what has to happen? You have to be an idolater, right? You have to be an oved avodah zara. If you're not an oved avodah zara, then you cannot go ahead and negate the avodah zara. So we'll say, so therefore again, that we're holding right now in this discussion is the novelty is you need not worship the idolatry that you're being mavatal, but you must be an idol worshiper in order to have the power of bittul. Meisvei, so the Gemara raises the cash. So we'll say now again. Remember now using that logic, what would be the halach or the ger toshav? What would be the logic? He cannot be mavatal. So we'll say so. Where we're holding right now is that a ger toshav does not have the power of bittul over avodah zara. Meisvei. The Gemara raises the cash. Well, listen to this. Ezu ger toshav. What is a ger toshav? Or I should say, who is a ger toshav? So the Gemara says, Kol shekiba alav bifnei gimel chaverim shelo lavo lavodas kochav divrei Rabbi Meir. So what Rabbi Meir says, it's any Gentile who has accepted upon himself in the presence of 3 chaverim, which means 3 Jews, not to go ahead and worship idolatry. So he's accepted in front of what? In front of a Beis Din. He's accepted in front of a Jewish Beis Din that is not going to worship idolatry. These words are in there. Chacham the Chum say no. Kol shekibel alav sheva mitzvos shekiblu aleim b'nei Noach. Chacham say To become a ger toshav, you must actively accept Sheva mitzvos b'nei Noach. Achirim omrim, the Achirim say, Elu lo bo lechlal ger toshav. So the Chacham say, the Achirim say, Rabbi Meir, you're wrong. Chachamim, you're wrong. What is a ger toshav? Ele'ezu ger toshav, zeger ochal nevelos, shekibel alav lekayim kol mitzvos sa'amuros b'Torah, chutz me'isr nevelos. Boss is actually dramatic. The Achirim say the definition of a ger toshav will say is everyone, a person who accepts everything but kashrus. But kashrus, so he can eat whatever he wants. He can be ochal nevelos, but he accepts upon himself every single other mitzvah. Rashi says, "Uver kol she'ochal nevelos, hushar kol mitzvos mekayim." So we'll say, he accepts everything. So we'll say, fundamental three machlokas are definition of a ger toshav. Rabbi Meir, he accepts upon himself not to worship idolatry in front of a beis din. Chachamim, he accepts Shem mitzvos b'nei Noach. Achirim, he accepts kol haTorah kula with the exception of the laws of kashrus. So listen, now watch this. Now, what's the status of a ger toshav? Listen to this. Miyachadin etzlo yayin. So ve'im mafkidin etzlo yayin. So we'll say the halacha is miyachadin. We'll say miyachadin means you could deposit wine with him for a short amount of time. So you could let him watch your wine for a short amount of time. That's miyachadin. Ve'im mafkidin. But you cannot put your wine with him for long periods of time. Va'afilu be'ir sheru be'Yisrael. We'll say even if it's a city who has a majority Jewish population. Aval miyachadin etzlo yayin. But we'll say you can give him your wine to watch for a short amount of time. Afilu bi'ir sheruba ovti kochavim. Even in a city that has a majority Gentile population. Rashi says, "In miyachadin etzlo yayin, Yisrael maniach bechanuso ad sheyilech kidei mil o yoser mashein came be'ovi kochavim." So we'll say, so you see over here that what? That even though he's not Jewish, but you can't. Now remember, with an akum, you can't leave your wine with an akum at all. With a ger toshav, you could leave your wine with him for a short amount of time. Not for prolonged periods of time. I'm reading Rashi. Kivan de lo palach lo nagav lo manasech. As I will say, because this guy is not an ovid Avoda Zara, so I don't have to be concerned that he's going to touch my wine for the sake of Avoda Zara. So I'll say, and also we're not concerned that he's going to let an akum touch my wine either. Now I can't leave the wine with him for long periods of time because at the end of the day he's still not Jewish. But at least for a short amount of time, I am permitted to go and leave my wine with him to let him watch it, even in a case, or even in a situation where the majority of the population of the city in which we are situated is our akum. Shmano kiyeno. His oil of the ger toshav is treated like his wine. So what does that mean? Shmano kiyeno. What does that mean that his oil is like his wine? Salka dayet chashemen mi kahavi yayin nesech. What does that mean? His oil, can oil become yayin nesech? What does that mean? To which the Gemara says, Elo yeno kishmano. Rather, I will say what it means is that his oil is treated like his wine. Look at Rashi. Ushmano mi havi yayin nesech elo yeno muter ba'ana kishmano. So we'll say the case, what the Gemara is saying over here is that literally his oil, or I should say differently, his wine is like his oil, which means that just like the oil of a ger toshav is muter ba'ana, so to the wine of a ger toshav is muter ba'ana. So we'll say we see that he's not treated like an akum. I could deposit my wine with him for shorter periods of time. I'm permitted to get hana from his wine in the same way that I can get hana from his oil. Ulashar kol davar harehu ka'oved kochavim. I will say in every other aspect, he is like an oved kochavim. Okay, so Rabbi Shimon Omer, yeno yayin esech. What Rabbi Shimon says, his wine is treated like yayin esech. Va'amri la muter b'shtiya. So we'll say literally, when it comes to the wine of an akum, the shitos span the gamut. So we have one opinion that says, Rabbi Shimon says his wine is like yayin esech, right? At the other extreme, others say his wine is permitted for consumption, and in the middle, his wine would be asr b'shtiya, but muter ba'ana. Katani miha, ulashar kol dvar harikav kacham. What do you see? What's the important statement for us? That we see, the Bryce just said, that for all other matters, he is treated like an akum. We'll say, what does that mean that for all the matters, treated like an akum? My lav. I'm sorry, the my hilchasa. Lav dimevat avodas kochavim kove kochavim. We'll say, does that not mean? So what does that mean? Like for everything else, he's treated like an akum. We'll say, does that not mean that he's treated like an akum? That just like an akum has the ability to be mevat lav avodah zara, so to the ger toshav has the ability to mevat lav avodah zara. Amar Rab Nachman bar Yitzchak lo Litein Roshos ulevat Roshos. We'll stop over for today, but the Gemara is going to suggest no. When we go ahead and we say that he's like an akum for all things, that is not that he can negate Avodah Zara. The Ger Toshav cannot negate Avodah Zara. So what does it mean that he's like an akum? Rather, what it means like an akum was going to say for Hilchos Shabbos. Meretz Hashem will pick up with Hilchos Shabbos and Meretz Hashem tomorrow.